What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today we have an unboxing and first impressions on this boot right here, the Puma King Ultimate. Now this is the latest version. Obviously Puma King Ultimate is the same name as the previous one, so it's kind of confusing obviously, but this is the latest version and it's been out for a while. I just haven't picked it up really just because I didn't want to pay full retail, and I just wanted to wait for them to go on sale. And I got these pretty cheap, which is really good just because it's a boot where I feel like I'm not willing to pay full retail, even though I still do want to like take a look at them. But this is the box right here. It is like a special edition colorway, which honestly it's still available. That's why they're on sale, and it's those tricks colorway that they made for the Olympics. You guys can see the tag right there. Nothing really special from this box. It's just box that they use for their special edition or their unique colorways, I guess. And here we do get a string bag, which is kind of surprising. It says faster football, and I think it's the same bag you get in the Ultra, or like when they do have like a special edition colorway, they do include a string bag. I'm not sure if they have them in the standard colorways. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. But yeah, you do get a string bag. And then here are the boots with a lot of paper actually. They just put a lot of paper, and there is the colorway right there, which I think is sick. So I'll get these out of the box and I'll show you guys. Alright guys, so here we have it, the Puma King Ultimate in this tricks pack, where one boot is orange and the other one is, I think, supposed to be red, but it's more like a pink colorway. But I just think the tricks colorways from Puma is always sick. I always like getting them. I usually try to get them whenever they do release a pack. So I do have the original Puma tricks, the pink and blue from the 2014 World Cup. And also I do have the Puma Future in that tricks that came out last year, I believe. This one's like an orange color, you guys can see there. And this is for sure more of a pink in person. I don't know how it's going to look in the camera, but this is for sure pink. And I think it's supposed to be more like a red colorway, but for this one it is pink. And the only thing I guess is like the sole plate is the same. Usually they either make the sole plates like different, like either it should have been orange here and then pink here, or like swapped, but it is the same. So that kind of, I don't know, I don't really like that. I kind of find that lazy in my opinion. I feel like they could have definitely made different colors, or it's whatever. I guess it's on the bottom of your feet. You won't really look at it. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you guys like this colorway, if you guys like the tricks like idea from Puma in general. Alright, the Puma King Ultimate. Now, I didn't try the Puma King Ultimate from last year, the last generation. I did try them on feet, but just never really like played with them. I never bought them. And that's mainly because that boot was so narrow and just fit so tight for my foot shape. Like, I do have a wider foot, and those boots were just not comfortable. I wore them in the store. I tried them in the store, and they were terrible for like my foot shape. I just didn't like them. The upper seemed pretty thin and soft and pliable, but for me, like, just the shape wasn't like terrible for me. Like, they were too tight and they were already giving me like pain. And then the new Puma King Ultimate came out, and they kind of changed the shape of the boot itself, so it is a little bit wider and it's not overly narrow. So now in this video, I'm just gonna give my first impressions of the boot, talk about the upper, the fit, the sole plate, and you know, all the little details about this boot. And then obviously I'll do a play test and then a full review. Alright, so first we'll start with the upper, and this is Puma's K Better. You guys can see right there, K Better. And it's a synthetic leather, and it's supposed to like obviously mimic natural leather. And right out of the box, it's not overly soft. It is like kind of soft, but I feel like it will get softer as you play with them. So I feel like there is like a break-in time needed for these. But for the most part, you know, they look okay. They kind of feel pliable. They don't really feel too like of a synthetic. They don't feel plasticky at all. But I do expect the upper to soften up once you do play with them. Here we do have these ridges, which add some texture to them. And you guys can see there's these like dotted pink lines here, which honestly doesn't really provide any grip. There is right there grip control 3V, and like on top honestly doesn't really provide any grip, at least not that I can feel with my hands. It just feels normal. There is like texture obviously because of these lines, and maybe that's going to add a little bit more grip to the ball, but I feel like it won't really be noticeable. It's not grippy enough in my opinion, but who knows, maybe it does. I'll let you guys know in the playtest. The upper itself does feel pretty slick. There isn't any texture or any like grip elements on the boot except for that, but like I said, it doesn't really do anything, and it just feels pretty slick in hand. And the upper itself doesn't feel overly thick. Like, yes, there is some padding to it, but it doesn't feel overly padded. I think it is a bit thicker than decay better from the previous generation, but it's not like overly thick, overly padded. Moving on to the midfoot, we do get like a knitted material here, which feels fine, nothing crazy. It's like any knitted material from any other company. On the outside here, we do get the Puma logo, and it is reinforced with this like plastic here. So I guess this also helps in the stability in the midfoot when you're cutting across, just because this is an actual plastic on the outside of your foot. Now moving on to the heel, this is a very interesting heel. You guys can see, hopefully it focuses, it is like an ortholite foam, which feels very thick, very padded. Like this is kind of the most padded heel I've seen in a while. It's super soft, super plush. It feels really nice. It does have this nice suede liner, which feels excellent. And so the heel, it's promising. I feel like it's going to be very comfortable on feet. Maybe it'll feel too chunky. I don't know. I haven't tried them on feet yet. There's a good amount of thickness back there. And like it's mainly here on the top of the heel. So I expect this like to hold your heel really nicely and not allow it to go up and down, which is always a good thing. So moving on to the sole plate, they're all conical studs in the forefoot as well as in the heel. And this is good for AG as well as FG. So you're going to get a good amount of maneuver. You won't get stuck. And they're a pretty good length. They're not overly like long. And then the sole plate, it is a one-piece sole plate with an external heel counter, which is always nice. I prefer an external heel counter. It just feels a little bit sturdy. And yeah, the sole plate itself, it is kind of flexible. No real like crazy snapback. No, it feels alright. Midfield, it feels nice and stable, especially here. You guys can see the extra like stiffening bar right here. So it feels pretty stiff and it feels responsive. Like I said, it's not nothing crazy, nothing special, I think, but I think it's going to get the job done. Alright, so now we'll move on to an on-feet portion, and I'll let you guys know the way they fit and feel on feet. Alright guys, so here I have the boots on feet, and I can tell you right away that they did change the shape of the boot. Not so much the volume, just that they made them slightly wider, which for me, I just find a little bit more comfortable. The previous model was just way too narrow in the midfoot, and they just fit really like a speed boot. And these just have a little bit more width to them in the midfoot. They feel more comfortable straight out of the box. The upper itself doesn't feel overly soft like right now, but I do expect them, like I said, to soften up. The heel feels very comfortable. There's a good amount of padding back there. It doesn't feel chunky or overly padded, like just because that ortholite foam feels really soft in your heel, and it just, I don't know, it's just holding it nice and securely. Like I lift up my heels and it's not moving whatsoever. It's like really like nicely holding your heel, so there isn't really any movement. And I'll let you guys know in the playtest if that is the same while running around. But right now, just standing, they feel really comfortable, really nice. Alright, in terms of sizing, they are a bit tricky, just like any other Puma boot. For these, I did go half size up. I did listen to the Bootcast podcast. If you guys don't know them, Justin and Colby. Colby did get these in the whiteout version, and he went half a size up, and he kind of suggested that people should go half size. So I did. And just because mainly I don't really like my cleats to fit super tight, I like a little bit more like wiggle room in the toe box. And I'm kind of glad I did go half size just because like I have just a little bit of space maybe, but like my toes like right there. And if I went true to size, they would have been way too tight and way too uncomfortable for me. So for me, just having that little bit of wiggle space is like really good. I don't like having my cleats super tight. I guess if you guys like having your cleats very tight, very close to the edge of the box, just go true to size. But if you want just a little bit of wiggle space just for your toes to like breathe or like move around, I would recommend going half size up. Overall, the shape and the fit is pretty good. Like I said, the upper, I just feel like they need to soften up a bit more. The heel feels comfortable. And in terms of sizing, like I said, you just go half size up or true to size depending on what you like. Alright guys, so now I'll leave you guys with my final thoughts. Alright guys, so overall the Puma King Ultimate feels like a decent boot. Like there's nothing special about this boot that makes it like, oh, it's like different from all the other brands. The closest thing that I can think of is the Nike Tempo Legend 10 because it is also a synthetic leather. And the fit, I actually prefer this fit rather than the Tempo Legend 10 just because this one is a little bit wider and it just feels a little bit more comfortable. So I am curious how these will perform, how they'll break in, how the upper will break in, if it will get softer, more pliable, because it is soft, but it's not as soft as I would like it to be. But yeah, that's it for today's video. If you guys do have any questions on this boot, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're notified for the playtest as well as the full review. Thank you guys for watching and I'll catch you guys in the next one.